Hey guys, and welcome back to the Accumulation Zone. Today we're going to be comparing TopStep, Apex, Take Profit Trader, and MyFundedFutures 50k accounts with each other and try to figure out which one is the best for you. So let's get started right away with the first prop firm on the list, which would be TopStep. So we are going to compare the 50k TopStep challenge. For the 50k TopStep challenge, in order to pass it, you have to reach a 6% profit target while applying to a 4% max drawdown, which is being calculated at the end of the trading day. You can trade up to 5 minis or 5 micros. This is actually a big difference. If you're the micro contract trader, you can only use the same amount of minis with micros essentially. Usually with Apex, Take Profit Trader, or MyFundedFutures, you can use 10 times the amount of minis with micros. There's a minimum requirement of 4 trading days and a 50% consistency rule during that challenge phase. News trading is allowed, and there's a $1,000 max daily loss limit, which doesn't count as a violation. You're just not allowed to continue trading on that same trading day. The monthly fee for the TopStep 50k challenge is $49 and there's a $149 activation fee that you have to pay after you pass the challenge. And once you pass that challenge, you move on to the Express funded account. The live funded account is also possible. You advance to that after the Express funded account, but this is not very interesting. That's not the topic of this video. So during this Express funded account, you also have the same 4% max trailing drawdown, but the trading drawdown is still being calculated end of day. Some future funding firms switch from end of day during the challenge to intraday live trailing in the funded account. There's the safety pillow method, a scaling rule, news trading rules, and there's still the max daily loss limit. But once again, if you reach that $1,000 max daily loss limit, it doesn't count as a violation. You can request immediate payouts after 5 days over $200 in profit. And once you have those 5 days accomplished with $200 in profit, you can withdraw up to 50% of your profit. And after 30 days of $200 in profit, you can withdraw 100% of your profit. Now let's continue with Apex Trader funding and get through those slides rather quickly, because the real meat comes at the end of the video when we compare them side by side and draw conclusions. During the 50k challenge, you need to reach a 6% profit target, 5% max trailing drawdown, but with the difference that now it's being calculated intraday. There's a contract size restriction of 10 mini contracts or 100 micros, so that's already the first difference to TopStep. There's a minimum requirement of 7 trading days to pass the challenge. Sometimes they do offer a 1 day to pass discount. You just have to ideally join their Discord server or follow them on Twitter to stay up to date with their current discounts. News trading is also allowed. There's a monthly fee of $167, but usually they have 80 or 90% discounts. You can use the code in the video description box below, AZ Trading, to always apply the most recent discounts. And there's a monthly/lifetime activation fee of $140 for the 50k account. Once you pass the challenge, you progress to the PA account, where you also have the same 5% max trailing drawdown being calculated intraday. The safety pillow method means that you have to, essentially what I mean with the safety pillow method is that you have to, if you have a 5% drawdown on that 50k account, you're starting out at 50k. So before you can request any payouts, you have to make whatever drawdown you have in profit. So in this example, essentially, before you can request any kind of payout, you need to be above 5% in profit and then you can start requesting payouts. Before that, it's not possible. There's also a 30% consistency rule, and there are also news trading rules. If you want to know which news trading rules you have to follow on each PA account, I highly recommend diving into the documentation of each futures funding firm itself. Overall, there's also no scaling plan. About the payouts, once you're on the PA account, like said, you have to be 5% in profit, and then you can start withdrawing the profits above the safety pillow, the buffer zone essentially. You can request payouts twice per month, if above the threshold. That's what I mean with the safety pillow method. Capped for 3 months, afterwards your payouts are uncapped, and you need 10 minimum trading days between each withdrawal. And keep in mind, you have to follow the 30% consistency rule, which is making it a lot more difficult. But I also want to mention that with Apex Trader Funding, you can actually trade up to 20 accounts at the same time. You simply hook them up to a trade copier. I've already made a video about this, and then you can really leverage the power of trading 20 accounts simultaneously. Essentially meaning that if you make $100 profit on a single account, but you copy them across 20 different accounts, actually means that you made $2,000 in profit. And this way you can really tweak your payouts. Now let's continue with Take Profit Trader. There's also a 6% profit target, like with all future funding firms. They set this as the industry standard. Here you have a 4% max drawdown, which is being calculated at the end of the day. You can use up to 6 mini or 60 micro contracts. There's a minimum requirement of 5 trading days with a 50% consistency rule in order to pass the challenge. News trading is allowed, and there's a $1,100 daily loss limit. But if we compare that again to TopStep, if you breach that daily loss limit, you lost the challenge. So that's main difference to TopStep. With TopStep, if you reach the daily loss limit, you don't lose the challenge. You just can't continue to trade on the same day. There's a monthly fee of $170 and a $130 activation fee for the 50K account. Currently, they're running a 40% discount on the monthly fee with a special bonus, meaning that you don't have to pay the activation fee. You can simply use the link in the description box below to apply this discount, or use the code AZTrading at checkout in all caps to always apply the most recent discount. Once you move on to the Pro account, the live funded account is also possible afterwards. Here actually happens a switch. So from 4% max drawdown being calculated at the end of the day, now this drawdown is being calculated intraday. Same with Apex. If we go back one slide with Apex, this drawdown is also calculated live intraday during the challenge and the funded account. With Take Profit Trader, it's being calculated at the end of the day, the max drawdown. But during the funded account, it's now calculated intraday. So that's a major difference. You also have to follow the safety pillow method. News trading rules apply. There's a daily loss limit, the same daily loss limit that you had during the challenge. There's a minimum requirement of 1 trade per week, and there's no scaling plan that you have to follow. About the payouts with Take Profit Trader, this really stands out here. You can request daily payouts if you're above that buffer zone. So you need to make at least 4% in profit on a 50K account. So it means essentially you need to be above $52,000 account balance. And everything above that, you can pay it out on a daily basis if you want to. Now let's continue with the last one, which would be MyFundedFutures. I'm getting tired of reading it out. 6% profit target, 5% max drawdown, calculated at the end of the day, 5 minis, 50 micros. There's a requirement of only 1 minimum trading day, so that's the best one out of all the future funding firms we so far looked at. That's also regarding the starter plan. I'm not comparing the expert account. There's no consistency rule during the challenge. News trading is allowed. And there's also a $1,200 daily loss limit. But unlike take profit trader. If you reach that daily loss limit, you just can't continue trading on that same trading day. There's a monthly fee of only $80. In the link below, you can use a discount code and save 5% on that monthly fee. And you don't have to pay an activation fee. That's pretty cool, and actually the cheapest challenge out of them all. But we're gonna get to that once we compare them side by side. After you pass the challenge, you move on to a starter sim funded account. Afterwards, it's also possible to move over to a live funded account. You have to follow 5% max drawdown being calculated at the end of day. You have to follow the same safety pillow method. So before you can request any major payouts, you have to be above a 5% profit level. So essentially being above $2,500 on that 50K account. There's no scaling rule. News trading is allowed. Max daily loss stays the same at $1,200 without a violation. And there's also a 40% consistency rule during challenge phase. And once you reach 5 profitable trading days with MyFundedFutures means trading days above $100 in profit, you can actually request payouts. But if you do that before you're out of the buffer zone, so before you made 5% in profit, you actually terminate the account. So it's not really worth it doing that. And after 30 profitable trading days with a minimum profit of $100, you can request weekly payouts. All right, guys, and that's essentially it. We looked at all different evaluations. So now we're going to look at them side by side. Evaluation phase. So this is the challenge. With TopStep, you have that 2% daily loss limit. With Apex, you don't have that. With Take Profit Trader, there's a 2.2% daily loss limit. And with MyFundedFutures, you have that same daily loss limit. The main difference is that the daily loss limit only counts as a rule break with Take Profit Trader. So if that daily loss limit is important for you, definitely make sure to maybe go for Apex Trader funding because you don't have that daily loss limit there. In terms of the target, the only interesting thing to me is the ratio. With TopStep, we're looking at a 1.5 target to drawdown ratio. And Apex actually comes out the best here as well with a 1.2 ratio. So 6% target, 5% drawdown. Actually, it's the same for MFFU, and I made a little mistake here. So MFFU and Apex actually come out the same with the target to drawdown ratio. With Apex, in terms of the minimum trading days to pass the challenge, it's the largest one with 7 days, but sometimes they do offer the opportunity to pass on the first day. This category is a clear win for MyFundedFutures. In terms of the drawdown method, I don't like the live intraday trailing drawdown, so that's why I really like MFFU with the 5% end of day trailing drawdown. That's really up to the trader and your system to pick one of these challenges essentially. My favorite at the moment for the challenge is MyFundedFutures. In terms of consistency rules during the challenges, in my opinion, they're just more annoying than beneficial. With TopStep and Take Profit Trader, you both have to follow a 50% consistency rule. I also have a little Excel dashboard in the video description box below where you can keep track of your consistency. With Apex and MyFundedFutures, you don't have to follow that. And of course, on all the accounts, you have to pay commissions. But keep in mind, all these challenges are just challenges. You don't get paid out from the challenge. So the challenge is just your first target you have to achieve essentially. And then what really matters, in my opinion, is the funded account. So once you progress to a funded account, that's where it really becomes interesting because that's how you get paid out. And we're all here and trading with funding firms to get paid out in the end of the day. So let's look at the major differences, in my opinion. The first major difference is the minimum trading days between each payout with Apex Trader funding of 10 days, and you have to follow the 30% consistency rule. But you have a similar thing with MyFundedFutures with a 40% consistency rule. In the end, in my opinion, it's not the worst thing having to follow a consistency rule. It keeps you in check. But if you don't like that, well, you would have to go for a take profit trader or TopStep funded account because you don't have a consistency rule there. The other important thing, in my opinion, would be the drawdown method. So with TopStep and MyFundedFutures, there's a end of day trailing drawdown which locks once you reach the buffer zone. Then it locks at your initial account balance. With Apex Trader Funding, it's a intraday live trailing drawdown, which also locks once you are out of the safety pillow or buffer zone. Same thing with Take Profit Trader. So that's the only major difference in terms of the drawdown. Also, you would have to follow the daily loss limit of 2%, 2.2%, and 2.2% right here. What else would be important on your funded account? I guess if there's a scaling plan or not. The only account where you don't have to follow a scaling plan would be Apex Trader Funding. You can use 10 minis or 100 micros from day one. With TopStep, Take Profit Trader, or MyFundedFutures, you cannot do that. You have to make profit, and the more profit you make, the more mini or micro contracts you're able to use. But then it really comes down to the most important factor, and in my opinion, that's the payouts. So right here, the first thing that stands out is that TopStep and MyFundedFutures have very similar payout policies. You need at least 5 days or above $100 in profit. With TopStep, that's twice as much, coming out at $200, before you can request payouts, even within the buffer zone. So that's the main difference between TopStep and MyFundedFutures if we compare it to Apex or Take Profit Trader. Because here, with those two, you cannot withdraw profits while still in that buffer zone. Main difference: daily payouts, weekly payouts. Same thing here, minimum 30 profitable trading days before you can request 100% of your profits. With Apex Trader Funding, you can request bi-weekly payouts, like said, but you have to follow the consistency rule, and there needs to be a minimum amount of 10 trading days that follow the 30% consistency rule with Apex Trader Funding. With Take Profit Trader, you can actually request daily payouts, which is insane if we compare it to all the other ones, without any restrictions, like you have to make 5 $200 days or 30 $200 days before you can pay it out. The only thing you have to watch out for here is that you are above the $2,000 buffer zone on the 50k account, and then you can start requesting your daily payouts. And that's pretty cool if you ask me. You can actually reach that buffer zone on day one. So you start trading on your funded account, you make $2,500 in profit, and you could easily withdraw $500 of that profit, and then keep going. If you make another $250 the next day, you can withdraw the $250 without needing those 10 trading days, consistency rules, and all that kind of stuff. Also, another thing to point out is you have to follow the news of each funded account because they all have news trading rules in place. And this is essentially it. We just compared TopStep with Apex, Take Profit Trader, and MyFundedFutures. For me personally, it's hard to pick a winner. I'm a fan of diversifying, so I have currently accounts with Apex, Take Profit Trader, and MyFundedFutures. I don't have a TopStep account. That's just my personal preference, but in the end of the day, it really only comes down to your system and your trading strategy. And based on that, you should pick the futures funding firm that fits your style and your strategy the most. And with that, we're going to end today's video. If you do have any questions, feel free to join my daily live streams on the Discord server. All the links for that are in the description box below. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I would also appreciate So you're supporting others' work here by using the affiliate links in the video description box below. Until next time, guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.